right now, sitting to do your breathing doesn't feel good on your hips, even with the prop of the pillow, then lie on your back, knees bent, hands on your belly to do some deep breathing, roll up to do the Om with us, and then roll back down. Okay, so that's a wonderful option if your hips don't love this first thing in the morning, the sitting. Okay, we're just gonna take a minute, but please lie on your back to do that. All right, hands into the lap or on your knees. If they're on your knees, let's try palms up. Roll your shoulders back, everybody. Sit up as tall as you can. Any kind of movement you need to do to get yourself centered. So even though it's a quickie practice, it's still a yoga practice, right? So we enter with a sense of awareness and gratitude and connection to our breath. So we'll just start some abdominal breathing. Take about 5 deep breaths. And if you're having a hard time this morning moving into deep abdominal breathing, and it can be when you first wake up, just put your hands up, move your hands, put them on your belly. Feel your abdomen move. We gotta warm up the lungs. Okay, warm up the muscles between the ribs. Warm up the chest muscles. So just do that with your deep breath. Start in the abdomen, easiest place to start. In and out. And then naturally, after 4 or 5 breaths, organically, let it grow into your ribs. And you can move your hands to your ribs. You need to feel that expansion and coming in. You can move a hand up to your chest if you want to feel that movement up to your chest. But organically, let it move into 3-part breath. And don't worry if it feels challenging. First thing in the morning, just bring your awareness there to use your lungs. About a 4 count in and a 4 count out. Doing the best you can, finding the muscles between your ribs, your intercostal muscles expanding. Try to draw the breath straight up, right up to your collarbones. 2 more. So it took me that long, just so you know the way I'm feeling this morning. So there's a bit of a tightness. So it took me that long, those many breaths, just to feel like, oh, finally, full breath, right up there. So it's okay if it's not happening right away. All right, let's take a final breath. And let it all go. If you're lying on your back, rock and roll, come on up to seated. Everybody, hands to heart center. Smile on our face. Inhaling to Om. Inhale. Nice. We open our eyes, greet each other, nice big smile. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to your day. Another opportunity for awesomeness. All right, so we're going to roll down onto our back mindfully. Get your strap. If you should always have your strap with you, and or blanket and pillow. All right, so grabbing. Mine's a tea towel. You may have the actual exercise bands. You may have something else, so you want to have that beside you. Rolling down. Exhale. Pull the knees into the chest. Just give a couple knee circles to open up our low back. So inhale as the knees come away. Exhale as they come in. Rock on your low back. Open the hip joints a little bit. Feel that movement. Nice. One more time. Okay, and then feet down on the mat. We're going to take your band, your strap, your tea towel, and wrap it around the sole of your foot. Okay, just gently. Leg to the ceiling. And you're going to just hold on to the strap with your right hand. Left hand's going to be on your left thigh. You can keep your left leg bent or see how it feels this morning to straighten your left leg. It may be too tight in the hip flexor to straighten that leg. You see, okay, play around with it. Keep it bent if you want. Now we're just going to give a little tug and pull the toes down towards you. Nothing big. Squeeze your thigh muscle. Just see how it feels. We're just warming it up. Hand to big toe with a little bit of flexion and pointing. Inhale now, releasing the strap a bit. Point. Point as much as you can. Exhale. Pull it down. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Get right down through the back of your leg here. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. A couple more times. Just let that movement start. So warming up the ankle. Okay, inhale and exhale. This routine that we're going to do, 20-25 minutes, I hope it's not any longer, is really super to do after hiking, for example, when you're using stabilizing ankle and calf muscles in a way you don't normally do walking just down the street. I think this would be awesome for that. Okay, now we're going to switch it up. Okay, gently. Start with bent knee, right leg, straighten if you know you can go there. Left arm, left hand holds the strap, flex, exhale. Inhale, point. Really point. Exhale, flex, draw those toes way down towards you. Push up through your heel, try to squeeze your quadricep muscle. Inhale. Now your right leg, foot's flexed, that leg's an anchor. Exhale, push your heel to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Nice, well done. Okay, strap to the side. Knees come in again. Give yourself a hug. And you're going to rock a little side to side, massage your lower back. Beautiful. And then we're going to either push yourself up to seated, or we're going to rock and roll up to seated and come right over onto all fours. Okay? So you can rock and push yourself to a squat, or you can roll to the side, whatever's going to work well for you. Okay, to come up. Okay, so right away, the flipping over, you're feeling your feet. We're going to come right down. We're going to do child with the toes rolled under up to kind of a cat pose, so just like a little bit of a flow. So toes are under. Exhale, hips to heels. Feel that. Now, depending, you may only come down this far. Okay, so I've done some warm-up before class, and this was it. You may come down much further towards your heels. So just feel it, push yourself back, but just gently, everything's gently. Exhale. Then you're going to come up into cat, lift the chest, drop the belly. Inhale. Roll those toes under. Exhale. Slide the hands forward, sit the hips down. Okay, so I'm so tight here, my heels come apart. Maybe your heels will come together. I think my big toe joints are pretty tight right now. My heels don't want to stay up to the ceiling. But see if you can keep your heels pointed up. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come back. I'm just going to turn around so I can see our computer. All right, a couple more times. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Nice, hold it here for a breath. Or two. Heels to ceiling now. Make sure they're not flopping open. Get right into your big toe joints. So anybody who has arthritis in their toes here, you certainly won't come down as far, and maybe the toes under just happen for a breath or two. And now flatten your feet out if you want. Everybody, feet flatten. Sit back on the heels. Take a breath. Just, nice. Okay, and then rolling up. Inhale. Beautiful. Down dog, everybody. If down dog doesn't feel right for you, I mean, down dog's going to get into your calves, right? If down dog isn't great for your shoulders this morning, then just come in and play around with cat pose again, stay in child pose. Okay, in down dog, you're going to sway side to side. So what I want you to be aware of to move it into our feet a little bit more is trying to open up your toes a little bit. So can you, even with your heels a little off the mat and your knees a little bit, can you pick your toes up off the mat? So we're working through the arches when we do that. And then just bring one heel down. So one knee is, pardon me, one knee is quite bent. The other heel comes down and lift those toes off the mat. The heel that comes down, lift the toes up. And then switch. One heel's way up, the other heel reaches down, pick the toes off the mat when the heel goes down. And switch. All the toes roll up. Switch. Okay, hovering cat. Inhale. Exhale, down dog, bent or straight knees. We'll just do 2 more of these. Inhale. Exhale. So when the heel, if your legs are straight, when heels come down, toes come up in your down dog. Inhale. Exhale. Hold your down dog for 3, 2, 1. Nice. Okay, so we're going to step to the front of the mat. Look forward. Step up. Hands move to your calf, your shins. And just lift the chest up, nice and tall. Now, with legs straight, hands to shins, push your butt back. You're going to feel big opening in the backs of the legs. You may have to have a bit of a bend in the knees to straighten your back. Best you can, try to straighten out those legs. Lift the chest. Hands are way up your shins towards your knees if you need to get that opening. Then bend the knees. Exhale, roll ribs onto thighs. Roll it down. Tuck your chin in. Everybody look at your knees. Shake your head out. Wiggle your toes now. Let's see if we can lift the toes off the mat. One at a time, the toes roll back down. Not so easy. Yeah, beautiful. Start to lift the chest up again. Look forward. Hands come to the thighs. Lift up. Come up slowly. Come up slowly. Okay. Hands to hip bones. Looking forward. Now look down, look down at your left foot. You're going to open up the toes like you can your fingers, okay? Open up your toes. Best you can. Just think about it. We'll do some toga and open those toes up a little bit more at the end of class. But for now, just look down, get some space, and lift your arch slightly. We're just going to balance for a few breaths and then step back to warrior 1. So with that open foot, your right leg's going to come up. Hug your right knee. Hold it up. Okay. I'm balancing here on one foot with the space between your toes, opening the bones of your foot, lifting the arch slightly. Feel your heel. And then we're going to step back. So your hands come to both hands on hip bones. We're going to bend the left knee a little bit. Step back into a warrior 1. So you're going to have to adjust yourself. You want your warrior 1 back foot to be back far enough that you're feeling a stretch in your Achilles, okay? So look at my back foot. The toes are aiming a little bit forward. It's not like warrior 2 aiming it to the side. There's an aiming forward so I can get my heel down. If you went back any further, your heel would pop up. That's how wide you want to be. Heel down. Feel that Achilles stretch. Feel it down back on your calf. Hands to hip bones. And we're just going to straighten the front leg. Inhale. And bend. Ooh, feel that opening. If you're tight here, you'll feel it. Now let's work to keep the back arch lifted up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then arms come up and we're going to hold it nice and deep. Lift your back arch. Ground your back heel. For 3. Hands can be apart or together. 2. Lift the whole body up. 1. And then hands down to heart center in prayer. I'm going to pivot up on the back toes into lunge. Wiggle your back foot back up just a little bit more. Okay, and then we're going to bend the back knee 90 degrees. Work through the toes and foot a little more. Inhale, straighten up, arms come up. Balance. Exhale, hands to heart. Bend your back knee 90 degrees. Inhale, squeeze your butt. Lift up. Oh, there's a crack in my front ankle. Nice. Exhale, come down. Squeeze, inhale, come up. One more time. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Okay, now hands move to the hips. We're going to do what's called pyramid pose. So the back foot's going to have to pop forward just a little bit more. Still a warrior one angle on the back foot. We're going to straighten the front leg. Feel your hip bones, they're aiming forward. Okay, and then we're going to forward fold over that front leg. Holy tightness in the back of the leg, right? Hands can drop down to your calf. You can have a slight bend in your front knee. Ground your front toes. Bring them back there. Now let's take our butt and push it back. So we're lengthening. Okay, you're lengthening. So maybe your hands are on the ground, that's fine. Maybe you've got a yoga block. Pauline, you've got your beautiful yoga block. You can put it in front of your foot, up on the high end. Put your hands there. Okay, we want to nudge the hips back so you get a lengthening out of your leg. It's not just a folding over, but it's a lengthening. So my big toe is grounded. The right hip is nudging forward, so I'm twisting my right hip forward and my left hip back. One more big breath. Front foot, you can even put your hand, if it can go there, down on your front foot. And just get your front foot as you're pushing your hips back so you get this length and all along the connective tissue on the top of your foot. Okay, and now we're going to step forward. Feet are together, hands to shins. Start to walk up your legs. Inhale. Ooh. Let's take the other side. So you're going to open up the toes of the right foot. You're going to lift your arch. Look down at your foot. Find it nice and stable. Equal pressure on your big toe and your baby toe and your heel. Okay? Now we're going to lift up the left leg. Equal standing on that right foot. Grab your knee. Lift it high. Balance. Nice. Okay, so we're going to step back to where you want. Move your feet around. You're so far back that if you went back any further, your heel would pop up. Okay? Heel down. Hip bones aiming forward. Front knee bent. And as you bend your front knee, feel that stretch out of your Achilles. Okay, I feel it because my Achilles is tight on this side. Trust me, it is stretching it, even if this is not your super tight spot on your body. Okay, now just keep your hands on your hip bones and straighten your front knee. Inhale. And bend your front knee. Exhale. As you bend your front knee, really grounded through the back foot. Nice strong back thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Think of lifting your back arch. Even if you're not sure exactly how to do that, get your mind's eye back there. Okay? And then bending. Front knee, arms up, lift the chest up, hands together or apart. 5. So front big toe is grounded, front baby toe, all around the front heel. Lifting the back arch, which means a little more energy on the outside edge of the back foot. 2, lift your chest. 1, hands come down to hip bones again. Transfer up on your back toe for lunge. If you feel unstable, walk your front foot over to the edge of the mat a little bit. Okay, and then we're just going to bend the back knee to 90 degrees. And lunge back up, both legs straight. 90 degrees, so you're going straight up and down. You're not leaning forward at all. Straight up and down. Hands to heart center. If you want, you can involve your arms here. So when you come down, hands to heart. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, hands to heart. Squeeze your glutes to lift and lower. One more time. Okay, now we're going to come into pyramid pose. So hands back to hip bones. The back foot pops forward a little bit. Okay. Still warrior one foot with the back foot aiming forward. This time with your hands on your hips, aim them forward and don't let them move. Your left hip's going to want to tilt open. Keep it forward, okay? Hinge forward. You may have to bend your front knee a little bit and keep pushing your bum back. Exhale, drop down. So perhaps your hands reach the ground, perhaps your hands are on your shin. If you have a yoga block, hands are on the block, okay? What we want to do here is imagine there's a string on your tailbone and someone's pulling you back. Notice that change in me? So I'm not here pitched all the way forward. I'm pushing my energy back, more weight on the back heel, bum back. I get a deeper lengthen in the front leg. Front big toe down. A few more breaths. There can be a bend in your front knee, that's fine. You can be way up here, that's fine. Just keep pushing backwards, not forwards. Really good. Okay, last breath. And then hands are going to come down to the mat. Down dog or child. Exhale. Woo. And then we're going to take that pose into a little bit deeper into half splits. So we look forward and you can drop your knees down if you want. Your right foot's, let's actually go back to the left foot. The left foot's going to come forward. Okay, so I'm just in 90-90 pose here. That's it, no big deal. It's never that graceful to do that little step, right? And then we're just gonna let the hips come back and come up on our front heel. Straighten your front leg. And you can move your leg around to get there, okay? Now take one hand and grab the sole of your foot. Pull the foot back towards you. Just gently. Breathe, lift your chest up, everybody. Let's get up tall with the chest. Okay, so I'm on the tippy toes of my other hand, and I'm lifting myself up. Now you can have your back toes rolled under if you want that extra stretch. We've kind of done a lot on our toes, so I want to give the foot a break. Okay, now, here we are, back of the leg, opening hamstring, opening calf, getting into the tendons behind the knee, okay, connective tissue there. Now, we're going to come forward a little bit. We're going to try to get this front foot on the ground. Flat. Okay, that's all I'm doing. Front foot's on the ground. I'm so tight here, my front leg won't straighten, okay? But I want to move and get my big toe down. That's my tight spot on my body right now. Big toe in my foot, this left foot. Foot on the ground, and now keep pushing your bum back like you want to try to sit back down behind you. So you're lengthening the front leg. Stretch out the top of the foot, all the connective tissue there. Breathing, breathing. Okay, we're going to switch sides. Come on up. Step back with that foot. You can take a down dog. You can take a child. Right, just a little transition. Then we're going to step the right foot forward. Okay. Beautiful. And you're going to come up on your front heel. Your front leg is straight, okay? Your front foot is flexed, and try to squeeze your front thigh muscle. So first round we do with the foot flex. Now you can have both fingers down on the mat, or you can hold your foot with one hand. And we're gonna exhale. So keep pushing your bum back like you could sit down on your back foot. At the same time, maybe your chest comes down. If this is way too tight in the back of your leg for any kind of forward movement, you're up here. You're up on your hands. Maybe they're on your thigh. Don't push on your knee joint. Maybe you're on your thigh. Maybe you're down here on your fingers. Maybe you are folded down over your leg. A few more breaths. Let's try to keep the foot flat as if it's pushing on a wall. If you're tight here, the baby toe is going to want to angle in. The sole's going to open up. Okay, now we're going to try to get this big toe down on the mat. So you may have to edge your knee towards you a little bit, or your heel towards you. And slide your hand down. Ooh, get the foot down onto the mat flat. Do the best you can. Take a few breaths. And then we're gonna come into malasana. So let's walk the hands up. You're gonna bring your foot back so you're on all fours. Okay, we're gonna take a down dog. So we just need to transition into malasana, so it's a deep squat. Okay, down dog. Let's just step forward. Now I'm gonna aim to you, but you can still aim to your long edge of your mat. You're gonna take your feet wider into a big squat. Okay, and we're gonna come down as much as we can. Ooh. Okay, so I'm wiggling around my feet to find my spot, and then you come down into a deep squat. So this is a tricky pose for your ankles, for your hip joints. If it's not great, you're gonna come into Kagasana. Here, if this isn't great for your knees, you can come into a cat-cow. Okay, you can redo the lunge we just did here. Okay, if you can hold in malasana, take a few more breaths. Open up. Wonderful. Get into those hips, these Achilles. Now lift your arches. Beautiful. Okay, hands come down. So we're going to move into hero pose, not knowing everybody's knee and hip flex or knee flexibility. I'm going to trust this is going to work. So you're on your knees. You're going to take your blanket if you need it, and you're going to put it, the fold in the blanket right up at the back of your knees. So this is if you need support on your knees, okay? And your blanket can be rolled up as much as you need to. Everybody, we're just going to sit back on our heels. So if the knees are tender, you've got some lift here. You may not need this. So just so you can see what's going on here, try not to have your heels open up wide, okay? Bring your heels in and try to sit back on your heels with them pointing to the ceiling. Okay, using your blanket if you have one. Okay, put it underneath your shins, or under your shins, put it over your calves. Sit back on your blanket, and what you do is you have your fold of your blanket right up to the fold in your knees. Okay, heels to the ceiling. Let's sit back. So this is hero pose. My teacher, Beryl Birch, when we asked her, well, this is kind of tight on the feet. How often should I do it? Every day. Every day. Do it more. If this is tight on your feet, this is your pose every day. Okay, now breathe. Now, if you're more flexible and open in this part of your body, your knees would be open, your feet would be open. You sit back down on the ground. Okay, and wiggle your bum right down on the ground between your heels. And sit up tall. Take a few more breaths. So you can do your meditation in this pose. Okay, you want your baby toes aiming down to the mat. Okay, heels to the ceiling, baby toes to the mat. A couple more breaths. Notice the stretch out in the knees. Stretch out where the quadriceps attach around the knees. Okay, relax your feet a little bit more. Try to sit down a little heavier. Well done. One more breath. And then let's move out of here. Ooh, push yourself forward. We're going to bring the feet over to the side and come down to seated. Legs out front. Shake your legs out. Okay, 2 more final poses. Then we're going to bend. Let me turn this way so you can see. Okay, so you're going to bend the right leg up as far as it'll go up to your bum. Okay, a little bit outside. And then we're just going to lean into it a bit. So I'm going to keep my heel grounded. I'm going to hug my knee. My other hand I'm pushing off with. And just kind of lean forward, push yourself forward so you get a little bit of a stretch on your Achilles this way by leaning forward. Then we're going to come back, sitting tall, hugging your knee. You're going to take your hand and lift. So see my toes are curling up. I'm going to take my hand underneath my foot, curl my toes up, and actually lift my foot as high as I can. And get a little stretch in the foot and the Achilles here. Okay, then the right hand comes behind. We're just going to do a little twist. Toes come back down. This has nothing to do with your feet. This is just good for your back. Okay, twist. Then we're going to do that pose on the other side. Okay, so it's just kind of a final little nudge into your Achilles. So the left leg, the right leg is out, the left leg is up tall. We'll turn so you can see that foot. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to nudge myself forward, get a little stretch on my Achilles. Then you're going to come back, pick your toes up, lift your arch, sit up tall. See if you feel a stretch here on your Achilles. So everybody's a little bit different. Finding the different angles to stretch out the feet, the toes, the Achilles tendons, the calves. Okay. Notice my straight leg here, this one. Whenever you've got your legs straight in a yoga pose, a seated or lying on the back pose, the extended leg is always flexed. It's like an anchor for you. If the foot's loosey-goosey, you're going to slouch and your hips aren't going to be engaged. So flex it to help you sit up tall. Push your heel like you're pushing on a wall. Okay, every time you're seated. Okay, now a little bit of toga. My favorite part. So you can just let your foot go. What I do is I come into tree pose, seated, right, Janusarasana, and then bring your foot up best you can. You're gonna take your, so this is my right foot. You're gonna take your left hand and you're gonna thread your fingers between each toe. So your fingers are going between your toes. Okay, and really you can sit however you want. You can be in cross-legged, you can be however. Sit up on your blanket, right, if your hips are tight. Sit on a chair, cross-legged, and do this. This is fine. Okay, so hardest part for me is my baby toe. So get your fingers between each toe. What? Who knew they were so tight? Okay, and just roll around, roll around, roll around. Take your thumb, massage your arch. Roll around. Okay, so we're just going to do this for a minute, do the other side, and then wrap up, right? Roll around. Notice how tight that is? I can't be the only one. All right, so get right in there. As I'm opening a little more, I'm getting my fingers deeper right in between my toes. Massage your arch with your thumb. Get in there. Nice. Switch sides. Giving your foot a little bit of love. Okay, noticing how tight our feet are. Wow. There we go. Oh. And then I roll around, right? Get your toe joints warmed up. Get my thumb into my arch and kind of going up and down my arch, kind of flushing it out. You can go sideways on your arch as well. If you have a yoga tune-up ball or a lacrosse ball, stand on it right on your arch and go up and down your arch and go in the sideways fibers as well. Okay, so I'm going to do that with my thumb. I'm going to massage out through the whole arch as I get in there with my fingers and move my toes around. So think of how much our feet take in a day, right? And if we're wearing, I don't know who's wearing shoes right now, but if we're wearing shoes, we actually have to go out of the house, right? The feet get squished up in shoes, or if we're wearing new sandals with different arches right now. You know, anyways, the feet just take a lot. And watch how you're using your feet in the day. I was not aware that I was actually putting all this pressure on my arch. By the way, I was sitting at a bar stool trying to do some work in the kitchen to watch the dog, right? So that, you know, that was affecting my foot, and I didn't notice. So just watch. Notice how you're walking. Notice how you're lifting your arch. Notice how you're placing your feet under your desk. Okay, one more big wiggle here on your foot. And then we'll come to close, okay? Thanks for bearing with me. My 30 minutes, gosh, one day I'll get my 30 minutes to be 30 minutes, okay? We're a minute or two over. So sitting up in your blanket, sitting up tall, hands come to heart center. Thank you for being here this morning, everybody. I'm gonna rub the palms together. Hands cup over the eyes, and let's just take a couple breaths to feel like you've kind of closed your practice out since we don't have Shavasana. Cupping the hands in the eyes in the hands. Take another breath. Grateful for our practice. Grateful for our community, of course our families and our larger community outside our class, and grateful for the day ahead. Yeah, with a smile, hands come to heart center, and let's chant. Inhale, open heart. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. I honor the place in you where the entire universe resides. And I honor the place in you of love, of truth, of peace, and of wisdom. And I honor the place in you where when you are in that place and I am in that place, there's only one of us. Namaste. Namaste, everyone.